Hello and welcome to the Ascended Thread podcast. I'm Andrea Clem from The Way Home to You.
And I'm Dana Swazo with One Thread Healing. And today we're going to talk about one of my favorite subjects, which is angels. And I think it's a topic that is fun, even though it's interesting because I was told that some people are actually afraid of angels, which I thought was just kind of interesting, only because I just find them very loving and supportive. And so, but everyone has their own path and they have their own different ways of tapping into things. So let's just talk about it all because I think anyone and everyone can relate to angels, whether they grew up in a religious background setting or not. I personally did not grow up in a religious background, but what about you, Andrea? I don't honestly know.
Yeah, well, I grew up in a Catholic background, actually. And so the first thing that I knew about angels, I think came from the religious texts, from the Bibles, and even like seeing the angel on the nativity scene. So that's what my early knowledge of angels came from. And I did want to say something because you said you found it interesting. Some people might be scared of angels, and I have, you know, heard that from others before. And I think sometimes when we don't understand things, it brings up an innate fear. So hopefully today, when we discuss the topic, it will, open some people's minds.
Right, right. And I'm just curious because I don't know, but do you think some of that fear comes from some religious background? Or I don't know, I'm just curious. Or do you think it's almost like it's a fear because they're so powerful or some religion can't, I mean, even though religion can be very fitting and peaceful to some people, I guess it could be kind of intimidation for some. I'm just curious. What's your thoughts?
Well, yeah, and this is totally, I guess I'd say my interpretation of it, but I think at times religion can also have a fearful aspect, right? Because if we do wrong, we might be punished. And
Hmm.
could the angels be part, people that, or beings that could potentially help with that punishment or things like that. And
I gotcha. Yeah, that
yeah,
makes sense.
yeah, and even if like I believe they believe the devil or Satan is a fallen angel, right? And
Hmm.
so maybe those types of things from religion could bring up fear in some
Yeah,
ways.
that makes sense. That makes sense because I do have an unusually like. And I'm finally over it. I finally got through it, but I do for the longest time had, I'm just going to admit it, I had a fear about the devil and possession. And so like to even watch movies about possession was really hard for me. And that was like a big thing in the 80s growing up, right? Like The Exorcist and all that, it was just normal for kids to watch horror films and movies about, the devil and possession and I just could not watch that stuff because I just had such a big fear around being possessed. And I'm sure it's a past life. I'm almost I think once I came to that conclusion, I got over my fear of it. But I would probably say 100% it's a past life thing. And probably because, for those of us who were spiritual or who had gifts or who could tap into angels and or higher guidance, we would be burned or we would be condemned or, ostracized or whatever. And so I'm sure that's where a lot of that fear comes from. So for
Yeah,
myself.
absolutely. And that makes sense. Makes sense. Yeah.
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 Yeah. Because once I acknowledged that, I think then that fear kind of went away. So that's good. It wasn't just my fear of this like boogeyman out there, or the devil out there.
Yeah. Yeah. But as kids, I think we've all had this somewhat fear of the unknown, right? The monster under our bed, the
Right,
whatever, the shadows in the dark. So
right, right, right,
that makes sense.
right. Yeah. Yeah. And I know I had a friend who's very religious, and she took my angelic alchemy class that Cindy Stewart and I created together. She took the level 1 class which we have another class coming up at the end of February. So if anyone wants to join in, it's at the last weekend in February, and it'll be over Zoom. So if there's like a day you can't make it, it'll be recorded. But anyways, once she took that class, she grew up very Catholic, and so I think she did almost have a fear of not angels per se, but a fear of kind of tapping into that stuff because she was afraid, she would get in trouble in some respects, or, it's black magic or whatever. And then she took my angelic alchemy class, and she said it was like life-changing for her because she actually did start connecting to the angels more. And I think she realized how much of a benefit they can be.
Right, right. Um, I think that's amazing because I know even what you have taught me about the angels and the way that I interact with them now and call them in has changed so dramatically from now to in the past. And they really are beings and entities that want to just support us and help us
Mhm.
and and bring calm and peace to our life and to the world. So helping others and teaching others how we can work with the angels for our benefit is would be great.
Right, right, right. Yes, and angels can come in in any way for different people. Like it might be just you can just sense, you can just feel the energy when they come in. You can just feel like either, like let's say Mark or Archangel Michael, like he comes in like very strong but very loving because he's there for protection. You can call him in for protection if you feel like you need it. Or, Ariel, who's really connected to the animals, but you could either feel their energy coming in, or you can see them as a color, um, or maybe even like feel a vibration or noise in your ear and know that like they're just touching base or communicating with you. Or you can see them as a color, or you might even see images of them through your third eye. They can come in different ways. How have you had them come in for you?
For me, I feel like, especially if I'm in a Reiki session or something like that, and I do always start out with calling in um, my clients' guides and angels and spirit team. I almost feel like a presence, just a really loving presence
Hmm.
that I'm like co-creating with energetically almost,
Right.
and that it's like you said, a gentle, strong, because they are
Hmm.
strong, magnificent beings, right?
Right, right.
Um, I think it's more for me like this presence almost by me that makes me feel almost safer and loved and held and I don't know, able to do more because it's there.
Right, right, right. Yes, I understand that. Yeah. Um, yeah, and in what ways do you, I mean, in what ways do you call them in? In what ways do you call on the angels or use the angels or
Sure.
seek guidance from them?
Well, beyond in my sessions, like to help others, I guess I call them in. Well, even and I still carry, I think, a little bit of the religious piece with me because I still do
Hmm.
pray, and
Right, right.
that I pray to God. But then I'll call in Archangel Michael. I use him for cord cutting ceremonies a
Yeah,
lot,
right.
and for protection, um, and the seraphic angels as well, which you introduced me to, and
Mm-hmm.
through your different classes that you've hosted as well to help others, really calling on them to help somebody when they're perhaps facing something that they're trying to heal or safe travels. That's one thing. Every time I go on a flight, for me and everybody on this flight, please surround us, with safety and love, and let us get to our place where we need to go. So I think protection a lot and guidance. maybe to help me make the right choice when I'm really confused in life too. Just help me see
Right.
clearer. It's not that I'm asking them to do something for me, but instead to help guide me to do it myself.
Right.
I
Right.
don't know, and I could be wrong, but I don't know that I'm going to ask an angel to change the course of my life, or change this or change that, but
Yeah.
which would be awesome if they could.
Yeah.
But instead, rather to walk with me and help me make the best choices and help me
Right.
be protected, but that I think it's more of a co-creation kind of thing, and also just kind of having that energy with me as they.
Right. Right. And
Yes,
I think you can ask them to change the course of your life, but we all, we as humans have free will. And
right.
so I think a lot of times we will ask them for something and then we undo it like a second later because we, have a doubt thought, a thought of doubt or, instead of just trusting. So, so that free will does, does come in.
Absolutely.
So.
And how do you use or call in the angels, and how do you use them or utilize?
Same, having just got back from New York yesterday, whenever I fly, I do the same thing. I call in, angels to guide our plane safely through our flight and for everyone, and that we have a safe, peaceful landing, very little turbulence as possible, all the things. I'll even, when I'm on the road, I'll call in the angels to make sure I arrive at my destination safe and sound. And I will also ask them to allow me to see the cops before they see me to prevent tickets. Um, not that I'm a big speeder or anything, but I think also I just thought of something else. I think that the other thing about angels is that I think some older modalities, thought that like the seraphim angels wouldn't work with us humans because they are like the highest order of angels. And so they're like, oh no, they don't work with humans. Whereas now that humanity has become more conscious, and as we've opened up the energies and Gaia and us have moved our vibration up higher, they are now working with us more. So we can call in those seraphim angels to help with like the world, earth issues or, yeah, land that needs protection because of war or whatever, might be going on, volcanoes, whatever.
Mhm.
So I just wanted to make sure to speak into that because I know some of the older modalities, would say, oh, even archangels at one time they said, they were saying, oh, yeah, archangels won't even talk to humans and stuff or communicate with them or help them, but they totally do now, so
Well, and I know
yeah,
there's a lot of people that I have seen, whether it's on YouTube, different places, but that seem to channel different angels, archangels.
exactly.
Michael's a big one that I've follow a lady that channels
Right.
him, and I know others as well.
Yes, yes. Yeah. Yeah. Have you had any interesting experiences with angels?
Hmm, that's a good question. And not one that jumps out to me on the top of my head, but I think just even the first time really feeling a presence with me during a session, because I, that was big. And
Yeah.
I think for me in my journey through this and doing energy work and just all the different kind of stuff that I've done, I would question myself a lot.
Oh,
And
yeah, of
I'm
course.
like, oh, I feel like there's somebody here. Oh, am I making this stuff up in my head? But really starting to believe in things, then those things happen more often. But nothing, I don't have a big story. How about you?
So, I do have a big story, but I was going to go back to what you said or touch base on what you said. I have my students tell me that all the time, like, like I don't know if I imagined it, but like I know I swear, I saw an angel and or I saw color and or I could smell like my grandmother and I know like an angel was with me, but maybe I imagined it. And I'm like, no, stop doubting yourself. You got to trust because the more you trust, the more they come in. And angels really do want to help us. They really do. And so they like it that when we do call on them. But that is the thing because we have free will, we do have to ask. They won't just, step in and help. We need to be asked. But yes, I did have a very strange experience once. And it wasn't even that I purposely called in an angel. Or unless I did it on a unconscious level, but I just know an angel or something higher, did step in. Because there was a time we were in the car and I was driving and Treve, Caden, and I were in the car and we were turning left onto Sheridan from 144th. And I was starting to go because like it was a green light. And like of course you had to yield to cars coming forward. And there weren't any cars when I started moving, but then all of a sudden two cars, I don't know if they were racing or what happened, but they came out of nowhere. And I was already like in the middle of the intersection. So I was like, and even before like we kind of, before I realized like we were in the middle of the intersection, all of a sudden I felt something grab the car and just kind of move it back, but hold it in place. I can't explain it. I know it sounds crazy, which we all say, right? I know it sounds crazy, but it held the car in perfect place because, there's two lanes of traffic coming and I was perfectly lined up in the middle and they both zoomed by.
Oh my gosh.
Like had I been just a little bit this way or a little bit that way, we would have got creamed by one car or the other. But whatever that invisible force I felt, grabbed it, must have put it just in perfect alignment place that like we were totally safe. It was
Oh,
the strangest thing. I could never,
that gives me tingles all over. Whatever.
yeah, 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 yeah.
How cool.
Yeah. So it wasn't even something, I mean, of course, everything was happening. It's weird because everything was happening so fast. So I couldn't even like really think to call on them. Um, but then at the same time, once that invisible force, it was like in some respects it was going really fast, but then very slow motion at the same time. Very weird experience. I can't even explain it, but yeah,
That's incredible. I love it.
yeah, yeah.
But going back to something else you said a little bit earlier before you got into your story, they do have to be invited, right? Angels
Right.
are not going to interfere necessarily, but like you said, you probably, with your continuous work with them, subconsciously call on the angels just when you get in your car and things like that.
Right. Right.
But as humans, especially if it's somebody that is something that you're a little more scared or leery of, know that you do have to, you want to call on them, ask them for their help. So they're not just always sitting there like, and you've got to be worried about that if you had some fear around.
Right, exactly. And another way I will use angels or not use them, but call on angels is if I'm having like a really big dispute between someone, or even if it's like a legal dispute, I will call them in and say, you know, please resolve this issue in the best and highest good for all involved. I don't ask for like let it be, happen for me, like don't let this like contract dispute or whatever. I don't say let it, work out for me. I just say in whatever ways best, in the best for and highest for everyone involved. Because, even though I think it might be in my best interest for it to happen for me, it might not. And so I feel like then they can, make it with ease and grace for everyone too.
Yeah.
Because like who likes to fight or be in a legal dispute or, fight with a friend or have a conflict with anyone? No one, no one really does. So I think they really help with that. And I think as long as you say for the best and highest good, they really do make it for the best because they are here to support everyone,
Right.
even if is what you might consider your enemy at the time.
Right. Absolutely. And to call them, you don't have to have some special ceremony or any, get these specific words right. You really just kind of have to do it, right? Whether it's talking out loud, maybe talking in your head, having a conversation. It doesn't have to be something that you have to get perfect, right?
Right, right,
Right.
right. And I think the other thing is some people feel like, maybe they're afraid to call on angels because they feel like they're above us or higher than us, or, they don't want to be bothered with us. But that's the furthest thing from the truth because they really do want to help us. They really love helping us. And they will step in if we ask. And I think, the other thing is that, it's kind of important, or you, one thing to remember is that they really are part of ourselves. They're just activating, dormant. Oh, you're just activating dormant awareness, or you're aligning with your higher states of love, clarity, and compassion. So it's not like, they're above or we're below or anything like that. Does that make sense?
It makes total sense to me. Absolutely.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Well, in that greater, higher consciousness, we are all one, right?
Right, right,
Which means not only with me and you and all those others around us, but with these higher beings and
right.
that. So,
Exactly, exactly. Which that could be a whole nother topic about yeah, how we're all one, but we won't go into that today. But
abs-
that might just be like, okay, where are they going now?
agree.
They're
Agree.
being a little crazy already. No. Just
Um,
kidding.
One thing I wanted to maybe touch on a little bit was discernment
Hmm.
for ourselves too, because,
Right.
I had mentioned sometimes I wonder, oh, did I make that up? Or these weird things in my head. But I also want to know, or also think that not every thought in my head or wonderful thought is an angel or a being or something high
Exactly.
guidance, right? So there is also some discernment we need to have when communicating with beings or really with anything in life,
Exactly. Right, right, right.
right?
For sure.
Yeah, and so how I don't know how would we know, okay, this being that I am feeling or sensing that this is real. For me, I guess I think I rely on my feelings a lot
Hmm.
because I believe angels are these higher ascended beings. Their energy is calm and it's loving. It's not going to be, isn't like incessant that I do something or urgent or anything like that. It's really more of a calm energy. Is that something you'd say too?
Yes, I agree. And if they're making you, or if the energy's like making, or it could be your ego or whatever it is, if it's coming in as like negative or like, like, oh, you should be doing this or should be doing that, or like, like negative, then you know that like that's not them. That's something else. So, and like I said, it could be something as simple as your own ego taking over. So,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Absolutely. What else? I guess they could help us, like we had touched on protection,
Hmm.
maybe even support in setting boundaries for ourselves. I know me as a empath, you as well, sometimes those boundaries are hard to set and things like that. They could definitely be called on to help us support us with that.
Right. You could call them in for like a sacred environment with like a healing, only, higher. protection and healing for the best and highest of your client on the table. Yeah, so yeah, you could also set sacred space with them.
Yeah. Well, and some angels actually have, I don't want to say specific duties because that might be the wrong way to put it, but like if I lose something, there's an angel I could call on to
Oh,
help
yes,
me
yes,
find
yes.
something or different things like that too, right?
Right, right. Yes, exactly. And that's one of a little piece of that class that we teach, that angelic alchemy class, is what the different angels are and what their powers are, or like what you can call on them for the different angels. So but yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
everybody out there that's interested, take that class because
Yeah. Yeah.
I've not done the whole class or anything like that, but what I know of it, it's the information that I've got from Dana was really, really interesting and powerful. So
Yeah.
I'll be in that next class coming.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, and it's also about alchemy, how we can alchemize, create alchemy in our lives to make our life a little easier and better. Because, I mean, let's face it, this 3D world is a little rough, right? Especially right now. So, yeah. And thank goodness for snow today.
Mhm.
We needed it. We needed the moisture.
Yes, we did. We did. So
Yeah. So
let's,
I was thinking maybe, unless is there something else that you wanted to touch on before?
no, no. I think
Because I was thinking of like doing, since you have taken my my seraphic wisdom classes, you you and I could call on Seraphidelian
Mhm.
for a wave for everyone on this call today and humanity. So I thought I would do that. And then if you want to do some type of invocation or something, then you're welcome to do that as well. Or give a little teaching of something before we wrap up a daily practice, whatever it is you feel called to.
All
So,
right. Sounds
all
good.
right. So, okay, Seraph Adelian, Adelian, Adelian. May we activate a wave of faith and manifestation that everyone on the call and all of humanity feel a wave of oneness in our hearts, that we feel nothing but peace, love, and joy within ourselves, and all outside noise is quiet, allowing us that inner peace. And I believe that wave is complete, but will continue to run.
That was beautifully said. Yes. And I guess for me, maybe what I'll do is just a gentle invite in, like how I might call in the angels. And for me, anytime I'm doing that, I want to first get into more of a relaxed state. So maybe I'll close my eyes and if you feel it called to join me as well, close your eyes. Take a gentle breath in and out. And then when it feels right, just call in any angelic support that aligns with your highest good. Allow it to be present with you right there. Nothing you need to do, nothing you need to see or feel. Simply allow that support and let it to be available to you. You might silently ask for guidance, clarity, or ease in your day-to-day life, noticing any softening or sense of calm or any subtle shifts in your awareness. And then just trust that that support is there with you. It can be quiet and still be so powerful. And then just know as you move back into your day that you could return to that connection at any time, just with simple intention and breath and just calling them in. And that's really all I do. So
All right.
you can call
Perfect.
that complete, but I
Yeah.
just, connecting to self and then calling that for me,
Right.
that's, I believe that's
Yes, I felt,
really needed.
yes, I felt very calm after that. Yeah. Yeah.
Good, good.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
hopefully we helped, you know, talk a little bit more, bring the angels into more of the mainstream.
Right.
Definitely, if there's questions that arose, please put them down below in the comments because we definitely want to answer any questions and make this something that you could feel confident that you could call on at any time and have this support. We don't there is these unknown, unseen, not unknown, unseen beings all around us that want to support us, and we're never alone. So know
Right.
that, and that you harness that power to call on them to help you with your day to day.
Exactly. Exactly. Yes, and we love being mentors and guides. So yeah, feel free to put any questions in the comments below and we will answer them. And if you like our channel, please like and subscribe.
Yeah,
We we are just doing this just to have fun and give people information when we can, and make it fun too. But that's it.
yeah. So thank you for joining us today on the Ascended
Thank
Thread
you.
podcast. We'll be back in a couple weeks with a special guest again, which we're looking forward to. And yeah, until then, um, call on those angels. Know you've got that support, and yeah, and we're rooting for you as well.
Yes, thank you, everyone. Thank you, Andrea. Bye.
Bye.